Yeah, well, see, that was bullshit there. So right in midstream, I lost signal completely, and I wasn't in a dead zone. There's not a dead zone where I lost signal at. And to get signal back. Now I don't know if the stream for a seat. Here we go. It's kind of strange. This, my studio, widgets, text, screenshots. Well, now I just have to like play around with this app some more. Anyway. Right now we are headed north on Minnesota 5. Up here, probably in the next mile or two, I'd say we're going to be hitting 169. I'll take that west, and then I'll head up into Chisholm, drive around there, and that will be that. But yeah, it's a good day. I have new SMS messages. Yeah, popped up already, bro. Why do you act? Thank you. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. I had half my mouth cleaned today. Tomorrow, got to go in for the other half. And then in December, like before they fell out. Hopefully soon. So this is like what I'm turning on to right now is US 169. I think does this go down to Texas? It goes down pretty far south. I don't know where the other end it actually goes at all. But this is a pretty major road, to be honest. Throughout and it predates the interstate highway system. So this is a pretty major road. But this is kind of like the main road between all the mine towns you see. And you don't see much of it like you think you would, because a lot of the mined ore is put on trains, and then they run the trains down to like Lake Superior, and then they ship it onto like barges. Looks like a barge or something. I don't know what you call it. Oh yeah. And I think they ship it out of the country. It probably goes to China or something. There's some numbnuts riding his bike on the fucking shoulder. You see a lot of that shit here. It's like there's bike trail. And they're like, you know what? I don't like the bike trail, even though I'm looking over at the bike trail. And if you got a nice winter tires, like the fat tire bikes, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to go on that. That's nice. In fact, that's probably what I'll get next, because that would be pretty badass. I'd still be able to ride it in the winter and have a winter bike. That'd be cool. So right here is Chisholm. This is a town that has like 6 or 7 signs telling you you're in Chisholm, like all over the freaking place. This is the second one. Right there on the right is the third, and then kind of straight ahead there's a one right here, and then there's one with like that castle looking deal. It's got like and then there's like on the other entrances there's like 3 or 4. It's ridiculous. This town's ridiculous. But this is a cool little lake on the left, and I actually ride my bike up here a lot in the summer. It's a good distance from Hibbing. But this is I think there's probably like 4,000 or 5,000 people here. And it's a nice little town. It's nothing, I mean, it has its own grocery store. And I think you're doing pretty good for yourself if you have your own grocery store. Especially anymore. Who'd want to fucking drive 20 minutes to go to Walmart in Hibbing? We don't want that, so. So what I'm going to do here is I will go around Longyear Lake. I believe that's what this lake is called, Longyear. Bridge of Peace, which is not a bridge. I don't know what you'd call it. Not a viaduct. I don't know what you'd call it. But it's not a bridge. It's definitely not a bridge. It's just a road on dirt that goes over the center of the lake and cuts the lake in half. It's kind of dumb. No, maybe I will turn into one of these parking areas. And maybe, oh, look at that. I can't. I'll turn right here. So maybe you can get a little view of this. It's a nice little lake. It's partially frozen. I wouldn't be walking out on it right now. It's definitely not been cold enough for that.
So I'm launching my own parade of traits.
But yeah, that's I will back out, hopefully safely. And man, you know, I realized when I was speaking earlier, there is a lot of similarity in the Minnesotan accent than many of the Canadian accents. And yes, I know it's kind of a running joke, but even not just with the accent, but with the cadence of the way they speak, it's actually a cautious, if you actually pay attention to it, it's a cautious way of speaking. And it's just made basically so that there's nobody can mistake what you're trying to say. I think Californians are more lazy in the way they run their words together in general. But a lot of people up here run their words together, especially when they don't have any teeth. I'm glad I went to the dentist. I'm hurting right now. They did a deep clean. Fucking hurt. Anyway, I'm gonna go over this thing.
Enterprise Drive, Virginia, Mountain Iron.
This is Matthew with your Tuesday's weather. It's currently mostly cloudy, 34 degrees, and the wind is right around 12 miles per hour. The remainder of the day, there will be a gentle breeze out of the south, mostly clouds and 35. Clouds tonight, about the same at 24. Tomorrow, cloudy most of the day, except a very slight chance of flurries in the afternoon and evening, and a gentle breeze with a high of 35. Colder at 21 Thursday, and we'll have some sun. I'm Matthew from your local weather center.
Ugh, I hate that thing. Yeah, so, you know what I've noticed up here too, and this actually bugs the fuck out of me, is that the radio stations in the winter play very depressing music. It's like their type of music they play changes. It's like, hey, couldn't you play some like more, like when people are already depressed up here in the winter. So here, let's make them sadder by playing fucking sad songs constantly. I don't know. I got a feeling it's just they don't realize it. It's like, you know, when you got people that are just, they're playing what their heart feels or whatever. I don't know. It's weird. Oh yeah, that's a nice walking stick, eh? That doesn't look cheap. Either that or he made it himself, but if he didn't make that himself, he paid a good penny for it. You know, I think about with walking sticks is it's just another thing to fucking impale you if you fall. It's another thing to injure you if you happen to fall. Can you imagine being impaled by your own walking stick? I saw, when I get one of those canes that have like a knife built into the tip of it. You just like push a button and the bottom of it falls off and you got a blade you can fucking javelin right through someone's heart with. Yeah, you gotta know in these towns too. These roads are shit. Super duper convenience store. That's been closed since I've been up here. It's super duper. It's like the worst place. It's not on the. It's like under. Yeah, not good. It'd probably be better now because they rerouted a lot of this stuff. But up here with the roundabout and whatnot. Ah, you know, I might. Hey, I'm gonna take a back road into Hibbing. That'd be nice. Let's see if I can remember how to get there. But let's try it. Let's try it. Oh, yeah. And those are the piles of dirt from the mine right there. Actually, right on the other side of those piles is the mine. And that mine is massive. See, we're up close to Chisholm. And we're pretty far from Hibbing yet. Now, I just got to get a better phone, possibly, that can get signals from a higher array of frequencies, and thus maybe I might get Verizon. I don't know. It's kind of hit or miss whether or not they're going to be in an area that is better for Verizon or better for AT&T up here. I know if you go more southeast, southeast of Hibbing, you might want to. You might want to hit up AT&T. If you're kind of in this area, you might want to hit up Verizon. So that's really what we need. Yeah, I might. I don't know if I will. Signal. Where the fuck does that come out at? Ah, yeah, I can do that. So 3 just have to have, I guess, they're also tearing out a lot of the, or not necessarily the towers, but the antenna on it, and are replacing the cells with 5G and stuff. So yeah, so still to the left of us. Let's see what we can do, what we can manage. Over off that way is the Hibbing mine, Hibtac, and they produce taconite, I believe, pellets. These pellets go onto train cars, and then they get shipped. Some of them on trucks. Majority gets put on a train and shipped to Duluth and areas north of it. They get put on boats, and I think most of it gets shipped to China. Couldn't tell you, but I do know it goes somewhere, and some of it goes on trains to like parts of Pennsylvania, I think, and areas of what they call the Rust Belt. But I got a feeling most of it goes to China. China just became the wealthiest nation in terms of not GDP, but like accumulated wealth amongst its people. But can you trust anything China says? Can you trust anything our own government says? How much of our so-called wealth is just overpriced real estate? Are you really of living if your house is $600,000, or would you actually have more spending cash if your house was $100,000, but it was the same house? You see what I mean? So it's not a good measure. None of that's actually a good measure, and GDP, when house prices are included in GDP, I'm not sure if they are, but when it's, if your house would be considered a gross domestic product because it was the amount of times, the money supply multiplied by the amount of times the money supply changes hands. And that's your gross domestic product. How much was bought? And I think this is my turn. I'm going to turn down here anyway. Alright. Hobson Lake Road. Let's figure this out. I don't know. I do know that I shot a bunny back here about 6 years ago, and I blew the fucker's top of his head off from about 100 yards. Yeah, maybe it was 60 yards. Regardless, this is not, I probably shouldn't even came down this road. But you can see where I live, I suppose. So when you have measurements of wealth, that's not a measurement of how good the standard of living is, right? You got Israel, where you can buy a tomato for 6 cents. Well, how much are you going to buy a tomato for here? $1? Well, who has it better? Can they afford that 6 cents? Can you afford that $1? Basically, affordability of essentials is like the measurement, essentially, of the well-being of a nation, right? If you got a population that doesn't have access to healthy food, well, that's citizens, and it's bad. It doesn't matter how much spending cash they have, if the Some people choose to live far away, and we really can't calculate. Point being, monopolies of our economy, the less freedom we have, the less, to the point where people will have to drive 30 miles to go to Walmart, because whether or not they have a vehicle that can do it, right? Because that's where the food's at. Because all the local people can't get good prices for produce, because Walmart gets the best quality or the best prices for their produce. You can't compete. And the thing is, it doesn't matter, right? If you can't drive there, you should be able to go local. It forces people, I guess, if you have to buy a new car,